New inflation data shows that the cost of everyday goods in the US is on the rise as President Trump's steep tariffs start to take effect. And President Donald Trump speaks about NATO, last year's assassination attempt, and his relationship with Vladimir Putin in an exclusive BBC interview.
The US launches an investigation into unfair trade practices by Brazil in the latest move in a spiraling dispute between the two countries. US President Donald Trump says the first Patriot missiles that he promised to send to Ukraine are now being delivered to Kyiv. Rising pressure from US lawmakers for the Trump administration to release files on disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Plus, we speak to the Prime Minister of Tuvalu about a landmark visa scheme designed to help its citizens escape rising sea levels and migrate to Australia. And coming up on Business Today, Nvidia's stock hits record highs as Washington confirms exports of its chips to China are part of negotiations with Beijing.
Now, President Trump was speaking there on his way home from a major event in Pennsylvania, a major energy and innovation summit that was attended by leaders from many of America's largest energy and tech companies. Several cabinet members were also there. You saw some of them just a moment ago at the event in Pittsburgh, where the host was Republican Senator Dave McCormick, and he announced investments of over $90 billion into the AI and energy industries in Pennsylvania. Those announcements coming a month after Amazon said it was launching a $20 billion project to build data centers across Pennsylvania, promising to create 1,200 jobs in doing so. Here's a little of what President Trump said at that summit earlier.
We're back in Pittsburgh to announce the largest package of investments in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and it's not even close. I don't imagine it's too close. I don't think second is too close. That's a big statement. This afternoon, 20 leading technology and energy companies are announcing more than $92 billion of investments in Pennsylvania.
Applications close this week for a world-first climate visa designed to help people from the Pacific island nation of Tuvalu escape rising sea levels and migrate to Australia. The country, which lies north of Australia, is home to about 10,000 people, and more than one-third of that population has applied to relocate. However, only 280 people from this ballot will be selected at random per year. In 2021, the country made headlines when its foreign minister addressed the UN climate change conference while standing in knee-deep water, illustrating the existential threat of rising sea levels to this low-lying island nation. Now, Tesla has finally arrived in India, opening its first showroom in Mumbai, with Delhi next in line. However, while the Indian EV market is growing fast, competition is hot, and Tesla's cars do come with a hefty price tag. The latest US inflation print jumped last month as President Donald Trump's tariffs took hold, pushing up prices for several staple items from clothing to coffee. Consumer prices rose 2.7% in June, which was up from 2.4% in May. Higher energy and housing costs, such as rents, were the major drivers of the increase.
Let's have a look at this morning's newspapers. We're going to start today with the Daily Telegraph. Most of the front pages leading on this news that the UK government secretly relocated thousands of Afghans after a data leak put their lives at risk from the Taliban. The paper describes it as a £7 billion Afghan migrant cover-up.
The I paper says the UK government fought for 2 years to keep it hidden, using a super injunction to gag the media and public. It quotes the former Defence Secretary Ben Wallace as saying that the judge did the right thing. It saved lives.
Meanwhile, the Daily Express focuses on the sentencing of those two men who cut down the Sycamore Gap tree. It reports that they have both been jailed for 4 years after felling the world-famous Northumberland landmark in a fit of drunken stupidity.
At 6, the fallout from the data leak, which put thousands of Afghans at risk. The Prime Minister says the Conservatives have questions to answer. The return of the Taliban led thousands to want to flee. Now there are fears for the safety of those who didn't escape.
The least they could do was to secure my information and not leak my identity. Now everyone knows about me. What can I do to join my son?
Also tonight, the cost of living rises again. Why does the UK seem to be stuck with higher prices? Live on TV, Israel strikes Syria's military headquarters and the presidential palace in Damascus. A major review says there were missed opportunities to stop the killer of 3 little girls in Southport.
No, just launch, I ran!
And behind the scenes with America's Space Force in training, protecting US military bases.